All right, welcome back everyone. Thanks for joining us for the first ever live stream from the Willy Street Parade. The parade's going to start in about 25 minutes. If you come on down to the corner of Patterson and Willy Street, that's where it starts and ends. We're broadcasting live from the top of Plan B. This live stream is sponsored by Heartland Credit Union. It's being produced by Hinckley Productions and it's being streamed by Field 59. I'm joined here right now by Lynn Lee. Thanks for joining me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
Good to
having
be
you.
here.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about living in the neighborhood and what you're involved with here?
So I've lived in the neighborhood 5 years, and I am the president of M&A.
And what's M&A?
M&A is the Marquette Neighborhood Association. We represent all the neighbors and their best interests and work to make the neighborhood a better place. We raise money through fundraising efforts to give back to the neighborhood and support places like Common Wealth Development and the Wil-Mar Center and Eastside Express, which is a free drop-in daycare for the summer. And we do a lot of good work, and that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And can you talk a little bit about how long the M&A has been around and just how it's progressed over the years?
So M&A originated in 1968. It was started by neighbors. It's one of the first neighborhood associations established to advocate for the betterment of the neighborhood. And it's progressed over the years in many ways, advocating for schools, the homeless, working on issues that affect Willy Street, how it's changing. We're going through a huge change in the neighborhood, and we kind of are the buffer to keep the neighborhood livable and yet let it grow.
Mm-hmm. And how do you find that sweet spot or that balance?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult. The neighborhood's very attractive to businesses, to restaurants, to bars, and we have residential on either side of most of Willy. And so we have to look at it, how do we bring new restaurants, bars, shops in, but not affect the quality of life for the neighbors. We want it to be a livable neighborhood where kids can be raised and go to sleep and walk to school, but still have a thriving Willy Street. Yeah.
Where do you see the neighborhood, in 5-10 years? What is it just gonna keep progressing, or what do you see happening?
Well, it is, without a doubt. We are one of the most desirable streets in the city to open a new business. And in the next 5 years, a big part of M&A is going to be looking down the road as how do we keep the historic homes on Willy Street, which buildings could be new restaurants, new retail, and looking out for the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. So, I work at Common Wealth, and we've been established in this neighborhood since 1979. What are some other organizations that M&A works with in the neighborhood and philanthropically supports?
So we work with. That's a good question. Last year we gave money to the Tenant Resource Center. We gave money to the Marquette School to help families who are just on the edge of homelessness, that they just need a little help so that they don't fall into homelessness. We give money to East High scholarships for seniors who are going on to college. I'm really proud of that one. Helping kids go on to college, it's so expensive right now. To give them just a little help is worth it. And then we do a lot with preservation and development. We have 2 big festivals that are our big fundraising events. Waterfront Festival, which happens in June, and then Orton Park Festival. And we do a lot of work on those, pulling them off. That's the bulk of our budget. And then we have a green space committee where we donate money. People apply in the neighborhood to improve a green space like a park. The Willy Street Park is a big one we support, and we give them money to keep up our little parks that are important.
And maybe could you share a little bit about your brother? I know everyone always confuses two of you, Lindsay
God.
and Lynn. I know Lindsay owns Cargo Coffee, and
Yeah. So I have a twin brother.
yeah.
I moved here because of him 11 years ago. His name is Lynn Lee. He owns Ground Zero on Willy. He's had it for 19 years. And then he owns Cargo Coffee on Park Street and Cargo Coffee on East Wash.
Mm-hmm.
And we work together, and we live a block apart from each other. And oftentimes we do get confused for each other, but we're completely different.
How so?
Well, we're twins.
Yeah.
You would think we would be more similar. We often have opposite opinions about things,
Mhm.
and we have to work it out because we work together. But he does a lot of good in the neighborhood. He's very active in the neighborhood, as am I. And our names are so similar that people confuse us.
Yeah, I know I did it first. Took me several months to get it straight.
Yeah,
Who's
people
who.
think we're one person
Yeah.
and we're doing all this,
Yeah.
and that's not the case.
Yep, yep. Well, I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about in terms of what it's like to live in the neighborhood and raise kids here in the neighborhood?
You know, it's a phenomenal neighborhood. We've been voted one of the best neighborhoods in the country to live in, and it really is a phenomenal neighborhood. We should be very proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
We have we kind of walk the talk. We have, we have Port St. Vinny, we have Luke House, now we have the Day Resource Center coming in over on East Wash. Even as we're gentrifying, which we are, we continue to be committed to helping people who need help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really the heart of this neighborhood, that like the Marquette Neighborhood Association, we raise all this money and put it back into the neighborhood. And I think that's the heart of us,
Mhm.
that we walk the talk. It's a great place to raise kids. We have great schools. We have lots of parks. And
Got the
everybody,
lake and
the lake.
yep.
Yeah. So we're a great neighborhood.
Yeah, good. All right, well, thanks for joining us today
My
from the
pleasure.
roof of Plan B. We're
Yeah.
going to go to the street now. Andy Moore is down there, and he's going to lead us in some live interviews with some people that are on the